So Dana, the next topic on the agenda in this series here is bunkers. And if there is one area of this golf course that we have received the most complaints about, at least for the last number of years, it's been the bunkers. Can you talk about what we plan to do to the bunkers in DC Ranch? And I would estimate it would be every bunker, correct?
Correct, yes. Yeah. So with the bunkers, some typical complaints would be the ease of, or not so easy, getting into the bunkers and out of the bunkers, the really steep faces in the bunkers, and the bunkers just being so deep, and they hold a lot of water. They tend to be wet, especially more so in the mornings. They tend to dry out a little bit in the afternoons, but overall, they do hold a lot of moisture in them. So what the plan would be with the bunkers is, in realistically, they would be brand new bunkers, just in the same locations. So to remedy some of these things, we would raise the height of the bottoms of the bunkers to bring the height of the bottom up, and then with the regrading and stuff around the greens complexes and the higher sides of the faces, even on fairway bunkers, so there'd be some significant grading going on, and we would reduce the size of some of those big flash faces. So there would be all new drainage system put into all the bunkers. We would add more drainage in areas than less, just to reassure us that all the excess water that gets into the bunkers will be removed through the drainage system down below the surface. So there would be all new liners installed in the bunkers as well, all new sand. We're looking at multiple options of liners, anywhere from capillary concrete to fabric liners to hybrids to better billy bunkers. There's a number of good products out there. We're doing some on-site testing here on property and have been for the last few years. And as well with bunker sand too. So I've just received some new bunker sand samples from the state of Washington and then also Oregon as well.
And there's no telling what improvements might come along the line between now and 2026 when you actually have to make the decision on liners and sand. Correct?
Yeah, correct. I think, the more research we can do on what's out there, the better off it's, the better position it's going to put us in 2.5 years come construction time. And it's the same thing with turf grasses, Ed. It's, I could sit here and say, okay, this is the best grass today to use in the desert Southwest, but, they're constantly testing new turf types and various, trying to extend the life of, for the Bermuda grasses to have year-round warm season turf. So, there's a lot of options out there, and I think, we'd be doing a disservice of saying, yes, we're going to go with this one, when in 2 years, you're exactly right. There could be a better option for us out there.
And we are going to be doing some testing on site here, correct, of some various grains of grass?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah. We're going to have a couple areas around the golf course that we're going to put to the test, and with normal cart traffic going over the top of them, and just normal wear and tear that we see on the golf course every day, every year. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting.
And divot repair as well.
And divot repair, yeah, we look at all that kind of stuff. The effects of overseeding different turf types have different repercussions. And there's some turf types out there that we want to test here is that you do not and cannot overseed. And so the thought of some of the guys that are doing that around the valley right now is, can we extend this warm season grass through the wintertime and have excellent playing conditions and still the aesthetics of the green turf?
Terrific. One of the constant complaints on the bunkers over the year, or not actually complaints, but excuses for why the playability has not been that great, is the amount of water that is getting into these bunkers. And I know we're going to talk about drainage in a future video series, but I also learned that there's a potentially an irrigation solution around the bunkers to prevent the water from getting in. Can you talk about that just for a second?
Yeah, I'd love to. So what Ed is referring to is it's called subsurface irrigation, and basically it's like a drip system for your outdoor plants in the desert, but it's a turf concept system. So what they do is they bury these drip lines around the outer perimeters of the bunkers, and even in some of the bunker fingers or bunker noses, which some people call them, that kind of go down and separate the bunkers. So these are ideal situations where we can install this new type of subsurface irrigation and reduce the amount of water that's throwing in from the irrigation heads. So there's a couple advantages to this. One, you're not putting as much water into the bunkers, but when you're watering, you can be watering during play and nobody would ever know, because the water is going right to the source of the turf, which, down in the root system. You don't have to worry about overspray from the irrigation heads and the winds blowing the water around. It's less evapotranspiration because it's all, like I said, it's all right down in the roots at the source.
One of the opportunities one has when you're creating essentially all new bunkers across the golf course is to either reshape or resize some of the bunkers. Do you know if there are plans afoot to consider downsizing some of these bunkers, or like on number 13, taking some of the bunkers out?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of discussions over the years of reducing the size of some of these bunkers, and I can think of 5, 6, 7 of them right off the top of my head. That I look at things from an operations side too, and if there's an opportunity to save money on the ops side on an annual basis, absolutely, I think we need to look at that without taking away from the design aspect of the golf course, the challenging aspect of playing golf. But from my point of view, absolutely, there's a lot of square footage of bunker out there, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to either minimize some of that, or like you said, maybe possibly even removing a bunker here or a bunker there.
Yeah, I know Dick Hyland and Tom Lehman will weigh in extensively on the design of these bunkers going forward, but it does present essentially a zero cost opportunity to make a change if we do want to make a change.
Yes, absolutely. That is correct.